Welcome into Kenan Stadium here on the campus of the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Congratulations to the Watauga Pioneers right behind us here. They are celebrating their 6A state championship. They defeat Middle Creek tonight, 47-25. Evan Moesta here alongside Tyler Clark. You're watching the high school OT postgame show presented by Talk It Out NC. Tyler, a massive first half for Watauga, a legendary performance for Evan Burrows. They were hitting on all cylinders in this one. Now they can raise their first state championship in football since 1978.
Oh, gosh, what a game. Evan Burrows was the MVP. He was named MVP at the end of the game. He was truly the MVP on every facet, both sides of the ball. He was intercepting the ball, making pass breakups on the defensive side. On the offensive side, he was running the ball, catching touchdown passes, everything under the sun. Coach wanted Evan to do and did it at a high level.
Coach Ryan Hovig's team is raising the title down here on the field. We talked in the pregame show about how they have this massive playbook, this array of different things that they can do, and I don't think Watauga's win and what Watauga is as a program, its identity could be defined more than Evan Burrows' performance tonight. He rushes for 3 touchdowns. He catches a touchdown, and he has a pick 6. He adds a second interception to that total. So, again, 5 touchdowns for Burrows and 2 interceptions in this game. He's the game's MVP. Cade Keller, who was ridiculously efficient, 17 of 19 passing in the first half. He is your offensive MVP. And John Wilson Mills is your defensive MVP. He put up a ton of tackle numbers tonight. But what was it about Burrows? He's a Duke baseball commit, mind you. Another thing, kind of that fingerprint, that DNA to Watauga. They have so many guys who play on both sides, or 2 sports stars, multi-sport guys. He did everything, and it felt like once he caught that big touchdown to start, he gets the pick 6. Then it was just a bunch of really smart rushing plays. There was the one option pitch that Keller gave him. What was it about Burrows that made him so dynamic? He gave Middle Creek so many issues tonight.
His team really uplifted him. Every time he would score, he wouldn't do a celebration. He would go find the player who helped him get in the end zone. Like there was one time down here where Bowen had made a pancake block for Burrows, and Burrows just came and celebrated with him, and that was really good to see. It really speaks to the testament of the culture at Watauga. It was really great game.
Middle Creek led this game. They got off to a hot start. They took a 7-0 lead in this one. It was back and forth. It was a wild first quarter with 29 combined points. But once Watauga took the lead, they never seized it from that moment. We're going to go live now down to the press conference where Middle Creek is taking the podium.
They're in. Yeah, they're in. Yep. Okay, we have 6A state runner-up Middle Creek High School head coach Andre Jacobs. Coach Jacobs, if you would begin with the general statement, please.
Extremely proud of our guys, what we had to overcome to get here. A lot of work, a lot of sacrifice went into this. Going into the season, I knew we were going to be talented. I knew we knew what our opponent was going to be like, and I think we persevered, and we got a chance to get here, and it's something that our guys can be proud of, for the rest of their lives.
Just how tough was it to plan for everything that they do? Just having a short week to begin with, and the extra day you can practice. So they do so many things, and they do it all so well, right? Just kind of describe that this week.
Oh, like I said, they're a really good football team. I said it earlier in the week. They do a really good job of getting their athletes in space. They really do a really good job of getting their athletes the ball, and they keep you unbalanced in their scheme. And, hats off the coach and his players, and they executed their game plan in the first half, and they got the momentum on their side. And in a game like this, it's all about momentum. Once you get the momentum, you can kind of, have to be in the driver's seat for the game. So, felt like I got spoiled back in the second half. We had a couple big stops on defense, slowed them down a little bit. And, they got us right in that one right there at the end. But extremely proud of what we displayed today.
Andre, you built this program really nicely. I mean, to get to this point, how nice is that? And you guys this program heading in the right direction.
You say I built the program, but this thing was made out the backs of our seniors. I met these kids when they were in 8th grade. The first football game I ever coached at Middle Creek High School, Davis Pritchard was the ball boy. You know what I mean? So it goes to show that this has been in the making for a long time. This wasn't made overnight. I have 10 other coaches that coach with me. I have coaches' wives who sacrifice. I have director of football operations, Miss Healy, who's right there with me. My wife sacrificed so much for me to give me this opportunity, and I just appreciate everything that everybody does to help us get here.
Coach Jacobs, you're one of the rare coaches in the sport anywhere who's had the privilege of competing as a student athlete in a state final and as a head coach in a state final. And I noticed what you said to your young men when you came in terms of how they present themselves, always with class and dignity. What do you do in terms of put in perspective, as you saw it as a player and a coach, historic achievements of which to be proud, even knowing at the moment it's not the easiest, but as you were imparting to them as they came in the lesson to the locker room, came into the media room right here. Talk about it from the perspective of the journey and what that means. You've seen this player and coach.
Yeah, we talked about it. How many people can say in their lives they've got to play in a college football stadium and play for a state championship? There's guys. I've been coaching football for 13 years. And there's guys that coach for 30 and 40 years, and they never get the opportunity to even step foot in a state championship game. And I've had the chance to do it 3 times. And as a player, being able to do it, that's all I want my players to experience. Because I remember what it was like to be a player, going into the stadium, being with your family, seeing your fans there, seeing the whole community support you. Our community, our parents ponied up, and they made this week happen for us. We've given these kids an experience like nobody else that probably ever had in the state going into a state championship week. Our parents answered the call. They paid for 300 tickets for our students to get here. We practiced over at a college football stadium. We ate good all week, and our parents really made that happen for us. And I think when we talk about Middle Creek, there's no downtown Middle Creek. We don't march in the Cary Parade. We don't march in the Fuquay Parade, the Apex Parade. We have our own Middle Creek Parade that we do for ourselves. So the community that we built within the Middle Creek confinements of being on the border of every little town around us, I think that's really important to us. And our kids really value that. They value what our people do in our community for us. My admin teams are completely very supportive of us to get here. And I want to make sure our young men represent us in the best way possible as they can. So that's why I made the conversation to the guys when we walked in the room that we're going to handle ourselves perfectly when we come in.
Players, what will be your lasting memories from this year's team and the way these guys stick with you?
I would say just how connected we were. Like, this is the most connected I've ever been. Like, on a football team, we're really one, just a family. So I'll remember this forever. It's the greatest team I've ever been on.
Yeah, as a freshman, I knew that this would be the team, like all my fellow seniors, that this would be the team to do this. And even though it wasn't the outcome that we wanted and expected for ourselves, there's nobody else I'd rather do it with. And I love these guys as my family.
Like Davis was saying, like I've never felt really like a team aspect. Like I like this senior or this team we had this year. All the other like years, everyone was single-minded, I feel like, and we all kind of connected as a team, and this is how we got here.
I don't know what this guy mean to you. Everything he did for you.
Everything. Like he could tell you my freshman year I wasn't, the biggest or anything, but I started out with the O-line. He got me right with the linebackers, got me running around. And then he switched me to edge rusher, and then it was it from there.
He's a father figure to me. I could ask him to do anything, anytime, and he would be there for me. Even like he treats us like his kids, and I love that about him. And I wouldn't ask anybody else to be my head coach.
I just love the way he treats us. Like I feel like I can come to him for anything. He's just like a father figure, like Honor said. Like I feel like he's made me not only just a better football player, but a better man. And like even past like high school and college, I think I'm going to take principles from what he was saying to my life.
Anything else?
Yeah, Coach was there when you all had senior night at your school that night and everything. Tell me, I think it was like 20-some seniors. So what did this group of seniors meant to you?
These were the guys that, like I said, I met these guys when they were eighth graders. A couple of them I had to convince to play football. I think when I met Cullen, he was a hockey player, and we convinced him, hey, give up hockey, come play football with us. But, like I said, my daughters, I have two daughters, and they're with us at every practice. And these guys pick my kids up. They take pictures with my kids. They hang out with my kids. They come to my house. Like Anna called me at 9 o'clock and said, Coach, we at church. We need a football. I'm going to go get the ball back for them. So, everything I asked them to do, they've always done. And, like I said, we said it on senior night. We are a family. We fight for our family with attitude and toughness, and we want to complete a mission every week. Regardless of the outcome, we're still going to go in and fight and give everything we got to give our chance to be successful. And these guys have done that since day one. It's been hard. And Middle Creek football isn't easy. There's nothing easy about what we do in Middle Creek football. Some guys tap out and they go play other sports. They go to other schools because they can't handle it. But if they stay at Middle Creek, you will be a champion. And tonight, I made sure I told, shouts out to Watauga because they did a really good job. But, we're going to play them again next year in the state championship. That's our goal. We're going to get back to it. And, when I came to Middle Creek, I said it was going to happen. And we'll be back. We will be back.
Thank you, Middle Creek. Congratulations to Middle Creek.
Thank you. Yeah, you can have it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That was the Middle Creek Mustangs and head coach Andre Jacobs following tonight's 6A state championship. Watauga comes away with the win, 47-25. Tyler, I mentioned Middle Creek was up in this game to start. They're up 7-0 to begin. They're down 19-10 after the first quarter and then really fell behind once Burroughs got going there in the second. But there was a moment there late in the third and into the fourth quarter where all of a sudden we were looking and Middle Creek was within 2 scores and had the ball in the red zone. They kind of turned a corner there late in that second half. They get the 2 touchdowns there. They get that fumble recovery. It just seemed like a little bit of not enough momentum too late in the game to kind of really get things going. But what allowed Middle Creek to kind of claw back into this game? And, we were talking 4 points away from a running clock. They're on the doorstep of making it a 1-score game.
The quarterback, Lex, he really could spin the ball.
Yep.
He's throwing darts left and right. He was making crazy passes with pressure in his face and all that.
Yep.
And Middle Creek had an amazing crowd in the top right of the section. And then you had the students with their shirts off, swirling around. The energy they felt,
Yep.
it was just too little too late. And that Watauga defense came down the stretch and they played some great football.
Yeah, a shout out to the Middle Creek student section. If you haven't seen the trend across college football this year, some teams, like in losing games, their student sections have taken their shirts off and twirled them. That actually fueled Middle Creek there. They had that big section of students, and then they go on their big run there to make things interesting. We're waiting on Watauga to step in for their press conference. We're going to go into a couple of highlights from this one. If we have to jump out of the highlights to Watauga, we will do that. But let's start here. A huge beginning to this game for the Pioneers. Here's the first touchdown of the game for Evan Burroughs. Again, this is with Watauga trailing the game 7-0. Cade Keller, he was wildly efficient. He completed his first 8 passes of the game. His first 17 out of 19 attempts went for completions. That's the big one to Burroughs there. Then it's Lex Sevilla in trouble, rolls out to his right, trying to find somebody to pass to. This is right after the Burroughs touchdown catch. He houses this one for a pick 6. That really put Watauga in the driver's seat in this one. Middle Creek comes back and gets a field goal to cut into that Watauga lead. But the Pioneers never trailed after Burroughs' initial touchdown grab. Here's Keller rolling out right, looking for somebody to pass to, gets it down to the 1-yard line. An incredible grab there to put Watauga right back in business late in the first quarter of this one. Pioneers looking for more in the final moments. This is the entire sequence as they get up to the line quickly, and Keller hands off into the end zone for 6. On that one is Matthew Leon. He scores, again, 19-10 Watauga after 1 quarter. Keller here on the option, rolling to his right, getting inside of the 15-yard line, spinning all the way down to the 1.5-yard line. That sets up a rushing score coming up here for Burroughs. This playbook for Watauga, Tyler, so efficient, and they had such a great pace to them tonight.
Incredible. And you can see punching it in. Look at this play.
Keller on the option, runs out. It's almost like you're playing on Madden. You know, you get there, you pitch it off to Burrows, and he's in for 6. They can do it through the air as well. Keller over the middle, another big pickup to Burrows. Every time he looked downfield for 12, it felt like he was open. Burrows on another option to the pylon in. That starts the third quarter of this one. Watauga in this game gets up as much as 31 points on Middle Creek. We mentioned that the Mustangs make a comeback. Ezra Job, the keeper on the Wildcat formation, is in. It's a 3-score game after Job gets that touchdown for the Mustangs. Then it's Lex Sevilla going to the left and finding Nick Bacchiardi, who gets right in by the pylon for the Middle Creek touchdown. They get this game back down to 2 scores. We're going to head off now. Right here. Keller rolling out right, pitches Burrows. There's the fumble that Middle Creek recovers. The Mustangs trying to get it back to that 1-score game. We mentioned Leon. He had the rushing score, the big pass breakup there on 4th down. And then here's the dagger at the end. Watauga putting the final touches on a 47-25 6A state championship victory. Cade Keller deep to Niall Pease, and that is all she wrote. The Pioneers winning this one 47-25. We're going to go out now to the Watauga press conference as Coach Ryan Hobbick and the Pioneers have gotten.
Guys have served in their community, working with Samaritan's Purse and doing different things. A lot of our players have, they struggled a little bit, last year. So win a state championship this year, I mean, it means more to probably our community than most schools because of what it means. Leaving Watauga County today was one of the most special moments of, my high school coaching career, 27 years. The support, the pride of watching our community as we're leaving. I mean, we have people at school, they're lined down 421 with banners and everything, watching our team leave. So, I mean, it's special. I can't say much about that. It's surreal. I mean, it's when people say you can't do things, you can. Sometimes it doesn't happen quickly. But like I said, definitely give glory to God. I mean, without this, nothing would, it's a God thing that happened this year. The way our team played, the way these players, did things, all the glory goes to God and these players in the community because it's special. But without God, nothing would be possible.
There were so many good players, good teams before this team, right? Does it feel like you kind of got this for them as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We got in the West. We're number 1 seed in the playoffs. And every time we go in the playoffs, people say we can't do things in the playoff. And I tell the players is don't listen to the outside noise. Players know that I'm not a social media guy. Perfect Effort 14 has social media, but Ryan Hobbick does not have social media. And I preach to these guys and players I played for me years ago say, don't listen to what the outside noise. Listen, focus on things that you can control. Honor God, be a great teammate. And those are things that you can control. And because if you listen to the outside, I mean, there's so much negativity of what you can do, what you can't do is you can do all things. And you just got to trust God. And sometimes it's not going to be easy. Sometimes you're going to have challenges and adversity. And these guys know, it's not easy sometimes in our program. We make things hard. And I tell the parents is it's okay for your child to struggle in our program. We're going to give them support, but there's going to be challenges and adversity in life. And this is awesome, state championship. But, I want these guys 10 years down the road when they have some challenges in life, they know they can do it and not be afraid to ask for help. But, these guys are great teammates too. So I think they'll learn a lot of life lessons. I think football can teach a lot of life lessons. I think football and athletics is part of the education process of high school. And, some of these stories on this team are unbelievable take Cade Keller for right here. Thomas Dieters. These guys didn't play at all last year. They didn't start. They were role players. They're backup players. Cade was our awesome scout team quarterback last year. He could have played probably 95% of the schools in North Carolina at quarterback. Man, he balled out on scout team. He made our defense better last year. I knew he'd be a great player because I watched him play basketball. All these guys right here play multiple sports. Now, I know a lot of schools from the big metropolitan areas, they play one sport. The parents want the kids to specialize. Our kids play multiple sports. And all 4 of these kids right here will be playing at the next level in some sport.
Coach, early in the game, it seemed like it was back and forth between you guys at Middle Creek. What do you think really sets you guys apart and let you guys pull away?
Our players. Players make plays, players win games. I mean, I give all the credit to the players. I mean, I haven't played in 28 years. I probably won't be very good. I wasn't very good in college. I was better in high school. But players make plays, and these guys make plays, and I trust these guys. On the sideline, I'm going to ask Cade, what do you feel good about? And we're going to adapt to – we have a system on offense and defense, but we adapt to our players year in, year out. What gives the team the best chance to be successful? And that's what we look at. And you got to trust your players. But I say this all the time is high accountability. You have to have high relationships and high accountability to be successful. The relationships have to be there, but the accountability piece has to be there. So these guys, we do blue dawn workouts, and March is not very warm in Boone in the morning at 6 a.m. And these guys come while also playing other sports like basketball and baseball. They're doing a lot of work, and they're coming. So high accountability and high relationships, and I think this team has it.
For Cade and Evan, can you just kind of describe the nights you guys have? 5 touchdowns, 3 different ways. I think you had like 15 of your first 15 attempts were completed. How much were you guys feeling it? And when you see all that hard work you put into season, have the moment you want to have in this game. How's that feeling right now?
Well, I've known Cade since I was like 5 years old. So we've been brothers for like the past 13 years. So I'd say, let alone football, we just have like a connection. And so, I love him. That's my bro. I love all these guys. So.
Yeah, same thing that Evan's saying, it's about my teammates, teammates and coaches trust in me, put me in a position to be successful, and, those guys are going to know before me. So.
The ability to, when Middle Creek's going on that run in the fourth quarter, they cut the 2-score game, but then to get the ball back after the fumble, the 4th down, the play that Matthew made on the deflection, your ability for the defense to stand up right there, but they had all momentum on the other side. Just what was the key for that?
I think the biggest thing is stay in a fight. A lot of times you probably heard us say that throughout this whole playoff run, but stay in a fight. Is bad things are going to happen, and when bad things happen, don't give up. Stay in a fight. And we did that all playoff run with Charlotte Catholic and Sun Valley and Northern Guilford. I don't want our kids to panic in pressure situations. So when bad things happen, we're good. Cade, we fumbled that one. That was a bad play, but we stayed in a fight. We found a way to get the ball back. And then, of course, we got first downs that last drive where we picked up some key first downs, and then unreal throw by Cade Keller and Niall Pace to seal the deal right there. But these guys learn how to play in pressure situations because they're going to have jobs where there's pressure, and I don't want the kids to give up. So, a lot of credit to our defensive coaches, but our players are the ones who are making plays, and they stayed in the fight.
And Brady, for you, so you being the lone defensive and lineman back from this year ago, you guys just seem to have taken up to another gear there between that late first half, early second half. What do you attribute to that?
Just our grit. That D-line, I know them since all of high school. I've been playing with them forever. I trust them to do their job. They trust me to do my job. Just our trust for each other and our ability to get after it.
And Thomas, same question for you.
Yeah, just like Brady said, it's the grit. We compete. We're competitors for sure. And that team right there, we have a special bond. Our core group of guys, even the guys that like Bowen. Bowen just transferred into our school this year. He fit to our program just like that. We just like to compete, and every play go as hard as we can, and we just play for each other.
Cade, Stellar Keller, if you will. Spent a lot of time backing up Max Screen before this. And I just want to know from your perspective, you got to start and you led your team to a state championship. How's it feel you got your opportunity? What was that like?
Well, I'm definitely grateful for the time that I spent behind Maddox. I feel like I learned a lot, and I feel like that was very necessary for my growth, not only as a player, but also as a person. Maddox really taught me a lot. I tried to soak up as much as I could from him, and we still got a great bond. I still talk to him a lot. But, this year I just wanted to leave Jersey in a better place and help my teammates and try to win games. Like Thomas said, we're all competitors. We wanted to win. and I'm glad we got to do it this year.
You go ahead, Joe.
Players, I don't know if you guys fully, understand just how much you guys do on offense. Everything you guys do. This guy, his Rolodex is incredible. Everything he's got. Can you just speak to the practice habits? Because to be able to do all the different things that you do so well, where it's so disciplined and there's no mistakes, can you just speak to all of your practice habits and why that leads to success out here?
I think it falls into those 3 core values we have: WTW, GPE, and TBM. We live those like throughout. Give perfect effort. If we don't give perfect effort, he'll get on us, and we got to go. That's the reason why we're so good at our offense, is because we trust everybody too.
I feel like in practice, the coaches create an environment that it's hard in practice. I mean, Coach Curley's yelling. They make it as game-like as possible. They want to see how you're going to respond. Are you going to panic? And with our offense, you got to know a lot. Thomas has played about 3 positions this year: right wing, tight end, and receiver. So it's not easy for those guys, but they do a great job just studying it and just being where they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to do.
And for Coach, decide not to go for the extra point late in the game, but there's a special reason behind that.
47 years from the last time that Watauga won a state championship. And like I said, it just means more here in Watauga County. So, Jack Gross, the football coach at Watauga High School, was the AD when last time that they won a state championship, passed away last year. I was at his funeral with all the players, and I met all the players from the 1978 team that won the state championship. And so many things that happened this year that would not have happened without God. When we got the 2-point play against Northern Guilford, there's 47 seconds left on the clock. Our team captain, Hard Hat Award winner, was 47 last week against Northern Guilford. And I looked up when we scored that last touchdown, when Cade made a phenomenal throw, and I see 47 on the board. And I was like, oh, my goodness. Right there, it hit me. God woke me up. I said, I'm yelling at Cade, catch the ball and take a knee. Take a knee. He's probably looking at me like I'm crazy. Sometimes kids look at me like I'm crazy anyways, but he's like, what? I'm like, take a knee. So then he looks up. So 47 is pretty special. And like I said, to bring a state championship back to Watauga County after 47 years is really special to our community.
And just a question for you, Evan. I know about a year from now, you'll be playing about 8 miles down the road there in Durham. To come in here and have the game that you have, describe that feeling.
I mean, it was definitely pretty cool. But like everybody else is saying, like I'm not open if these guys aren't out there running routes. These guys aren't blocking, not throwing me the ball. Like we're not sitting there at practice for like 3 hours every single day, throwing up plays, doing schemes and all that. So none of that happens without like the preparation and stuff. But also on a flip note, it feels good to come in Carolina and smoking. You know what I'm saying?
Go Heels.
All right, guys. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks for all the coverage, and we appreciate you all. Thank you.
Hey, Evan.
No, they say
Come on now. Hey, Shannon's going to kill you.
That is the Watauga Pioneers, your 6A state champions. Again, a 47-25 victory over Middle Creek in the 6A state championship. Evan Moesta here, back alongside Tyler Clark. You're watching the High School OT postgame show presented by Talking Out NC. Just like Watauga all season long, it takes a lot of teamwork to be victorious, and it takes a lot of teamwork to start the conversation about ending underage drinking. You can visit talkitoutnc.org. Talkitoutnc.org is your spot for all of the tools and the resources that you need to start the conversation today about ending underage drinking. Tyler, Watauga, this community, they're from Boone. They're so passionate about their football. They're passionate about their sports. They love their Pioneers. They showed out tonight, and they're rewarded with the school's first state championship in football in 47 years. One thing that I took away from that press conference, when they hit 47 there on that last touchdown, Coach Hobbick had them take a knee because the number 47 has been so important to them, and it has shown so many times through this run. And, of course, again, it reveals itself there at the end. But for this community, we saw it firsthand tonight, the passion that they have. It's one of the things that makes covering high school athletics special, because you get to see a community like that where it means so much and it is so important, get rewarded with a moment like tonight.
Yeah. They've been so close. They've been so close. The community knew that, and they showed up. What surprised me most They showed up to the send-off. The send-off was great. I heard the interview was great energy. It's just really great to see from the community, and it was crazy to see that App State's Twitter page, or athletics page, post. Good luck to the Watauga team. And, the community showed up tonight. They were loud. They were Watauga Pioneers.
Watauga, congratulations. You are the 6A state champions here in the state of North Carolina. In about 40 minutes, we will have the kickoff to the 7A state championship at Key Stadium. Right behind us, Clayton and Grimsley are preparing to kick things off in the 7A championship game. Once again, Tyler and we will be back once that game is final. We'll have press conferences, analysis, highlights, and more. You want from this Watauga victory will be up on HighOT.com. J. Mike Blake already has a story. We'll have photos in the morning. We'll have highlights tonight. Both of these press conferences in their full length will be posted as well. And if you want to follow live updates, Joel Bryant had them for the 6A game. They're already up there. But if you want to follow live updates for this 7A game, he will have that as well on the front of High School OT. For Tyler Clark, I'm Evan Moesta. Thanks for tuning in tonight to the 6A edition of the High School OT postgame show presented by Talk It Out NC. Before we go here, we're going to leave you with one last message from our partner.
Your child pours their heart and soul into their dreams.
You're so ready for this.
But underage drinking can stop a young mind and body from performing at its best.
Okay, everyone, it's time.
We're ready.
Make sure your star keeps shining. Start the conversation about the dangers of alcohol with tips at talkitoutnc.org.
Get the Triangle Sports Leader anytime, anywhere with the new app from 99.9 The Fan. If it's live on The Fan, you can listen on the app. Plus, all your favorite podcasts at your fingertips. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
Raising kids is a roller coaster. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry. But most times you wonder how your kid turned out so well. That's how. You did the hard work, made the right decisions. Like talking about alcohol before it could be a problem. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get resources on how to talk about underage drinking. So Mom, Dad, keep up the good work. It's worth it. Talk early. Talk often. Talk It Out NC.